Get comfortable here.
Get comfy.
Get comfy. Need my phone for resources. Okay. Ah, man,
It's
I love
been a
that
while.
sound. It has been.
It's been way too long.
I love that sound. What do we got here? Bush
The
Light.
the best part is, well, I mean, not the best part, but crazy part is, last time we were doing this, I don't think, were you 21 yet?
I was.
You were. But
You
I wasn't.
weren't. I just was freshly 21.
Just freshly 21, yeah.
Crazy. Man, and a lot of stuff has happened between now and then.
Yeah. Yeah. Life got a little crazy there for a little bit, and that's kind of,
Where we left.
yeah, it's good though. I mean, we got back by popular demand. We're back with the Farmland Hunter podcast,
Yes, sir.
and I feel like we're both kind of in a spot now where we can prioritize and
Kind of have a little bit more of a schedule.
Yeah.
A little bit, at
Yeah.
least. Let's talk about what you've been doing. You kind of got a new hobby since then.
I did, yeah, picked up totally new hobby. I started coyote / predator hunting, and that's really taken over, all majority of my time. Was lucky enough to reach out and make connections with a good guy, Freddie Fry,
Yep. Love Freddie.
through Macaulay, and expect to see some content from us in the future. I'm sure you predator hunting guys from PA, you gotta know who he is. I mean, there's no way. But yeah, so kind of started out with me and Brady trying to stumble our way through, trying to figure it out, and it was fun. We had some luck starting off, and I think it was after our first stand we were like, whatever we need to do to get seriously into it. We called in a dog our first stand. Ended up messing it up, but we were like, whatever we need to do to figure this out and do it right, we're going to do it. So we did, and, that was a little over a year ago, and we're still building and trying to get into it. I mean, very, very freshly into it.
You guys have killed how many dogs now together? You and Brady? 6?
As of today, we're at 5 or 6, yeah.
I was going to say, it has to be close to that.
Yeah, 5 or 6 from
You've killed a
last
few
year.
with Freddie.
Killed a few with Freddie. And then, but total for me and Brady this year that I've called in and seen killed, I'm at 14. Which is okay. It's not great. I mean, for the second year, I'm content. I think my goal for this year is 20. I wanted to kill 20 dogs by December 31st and January 1st, whatever.
That's
I
awesome.
don't even know. Is there?
I have no idea.
I was like, but 20 for this year. I only got 6 more to go. Some people may say like, oh, well, you got October, you got November, December, but we still have PA archery season.
Yes, and that's where I thrive.
Yes, it's hard to get away from, man. Like I love coyote hunting. Spend a lot of time all year round, but it's hard. It's hard to get away from that wonderful time of fall. It's been cold the last couple days.
It has been.
We're both getting the itch. Everyone's getting the itch. It's like, oh, you should come home and get in a deer stand.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks ago in August, it was in the upper 30s for a couple mornings.
Yeah.
When it's in the upper 30s in August and you only have about a month and a half to archery season, that itch goes from like 5 to 10 right now. And I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on around the farm. We're starting to get kind of busy, and I'm hoping that a lot of that is done and out of the way till October 5th. Tucker, kind of fill us in on what you did through the summer for deer. I know you've kind of been more focused on predator hunting and that sort, but let us know how you're getting ready for the upcoming archery season.
So I kind of have been more relaxed, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely could have been putting more cameras out, but from what I've seen over the last couple of years, I've just been putting cameras out. I made some kill plots, some like small plots, just throw and grow. I have cameras on those, and that's about it. This week and probably next week, I'll put all cell cams out and try to really lock down areas. Last year was a little different. I used I started out with a saddle. I did not like it. I mean, I hunted out of it 3 times, sold it right away.
Unpopular opinion right there in the hunting industry.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's for everyone. I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's just not for me. I hunt private land / public land that I don't need to be moving and taking my sets out of. I get and I can see why it's nice, but for me personally, didn't work. Also, I don't like climbing up in a tree and hanging off the side of a tree at 6 in the morning. That was the main thing. When it's dark out and you're stepping out on the stand and you're hanging there.
All hanging on by a knot.
Hanging on by a knot, and I developed severe knee issues, which I never have. Other than that, I get it, light, compact, you're bouncing around. Sold it. I bought 4 hang-ons and just put them up.
Yep.
And then a kind of a mentor of mine let me use his climbing stand, his summit stand. And I bounced around that for the year, and I really found to enjoy that. Now, did I probably move around a little too much? Yes. Did I focus on an area that was, a little too pressured? Yes. But there was good deer, and it was fun. It was new to me. It was fun.
Yep.
And the climbing stand was very comfortable. So for this year, what I think I'm going to do is I didn't put too much of pressure up front, and I'm just going to kind of see here the next couple weeks what my deer movement is. We know what deer are around, both of us. We see kind of similar deer.
Yep.
We both have enough cameras out to kind of tell what's going on. From years past, I'm just going to use my prior knowledge and use the climber, and also just kind of go in and hunt more, I don't know, what do you call it? Not naturally, but just more sporadically and less
forced.
Less forced, yeah.
You're just going to be chill about it.
Yeah. Also, the property that I'm focusing on this year, the deer kind of move the same way every year.
Yep. Historically data.
Yeah. So I'm not going to put a super amount of pressure on the area, and honestly probably not going to hunt till a little later. But I still need to get some stands up. I need to get hang-ons in. But man, life has just been so crazy. I mean,
it has been.
It's like it doesn't seem like that long ago that last year we were just doing our fall prep stuff to get into the season again, shooting our bow and whatnot.
Yeah. It's just crazy how fast time flies, because, I can remember back there in May, I'm like, I'm going to get my cameras out here in 2 weeks. Here in 2 weeks, I'm going to get my cameras out. And now it's September 4th, and the deer are shedding their velvet. They're starting to change up their patterns. I'm getting excited. Just crazy how time flies.
Yeah, I don't have to do a lot of research because Macaulay kind of takes care of that for me.
I do.
You want to go ahead into that?
Yeah, I am a little bit of a nerd when it comes to deer. I've studied multiple people and how they hunt, and kind of like use it as my own, which that's how you build your own characters. You take from people that you know and learn from, and you kind of make it and take what you want from it and make it your own. And that's kind of what I've done. So I nerd out on it a little bit. There's some good bucks around. The farm I hunt, the home farm, there's probably 3 or 4 good bucks that I would be super excited to shoot. None of them are very old by
How
any
many
means.
from last year do you have?
From last year, I'd say there's probably at least 5 that are still living on the farm, and to have 5 bucks come back on a single farm in Pennsylvania is nice. You can tell that, the little bit that I put in and passing deer, doing the TSI work on the farm and all that kind of stuff, to see it kind of work a little bit is super rewarding for me, at least. And, when it helps you, it helps your neighbor. We talked about that prior on podcasts, but just super, super excited to have bucks like that come back. we have a buck we call the Imposter 10, which is probably the one that I'm most excited about. If you follow along on Instagram, you've probably seen that buck. He is a very, very big 10-point, very young deer also. I'd say he's 3.5 years old, which I would not like to shoot a 3.5-year-old buck in PA. I really want to shoot a 4.5-year-old. I'd love to. That's what I've been working for. But to have a buck that's that size at 3.5, you can't pass him up because he's not going to make it. Nobody else is going to even think about passing him. And I couldn't even think about passing because he's probably got 10 inches of antler on my biggest buck to date. But I do have a lot of other good bucks. I have some 4.5-year-olds that I did have come back this year. They're not as big, but I would love to kill them. Bluey, got 2 pictures of him, crappy pictures, super sporadic buck, shows up for a month or 2 at a time, gone again, and he showed up for about a week and a half this year in early August. And that's a stud. I've been watching him for 3 years now. He is a absolute stud. If you check out Instagram and scroll down, you'd probably find, if you look at the post, you'll probably find that. But he's got to be one of the most intriguing deer I've probably ever got to follow. That's the ones that make you really appreciate deer, white-tailed deer, bucks, their movement, how you hunt them, how they live their lives. It's bucks like that make you scratch your head. But that's also what makes it fun. That's why I like to nerd out on it.
Which last year, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but you definitely could have had an opportunity at him.
Yes, it was funny about that. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Last year, the buck I called Bluey, I had him all the time in October and November. That's when he showed up. Last year, I was down at my good buddy Tuck's cabin, driving home, look at my Moultrie Mobile notification. It's like midnight. There he is. First picture of him of the year. I about wrecked my truck. I was so excited. Anybody that knows and follows deer from year to year, when that first picture comes in, you could run around the house, jump around. That's just how it was.
Especially when you ride around Macaulay and around him and understand the reaction that he could have had.
Yeah. Yeah, the truck was almost in the ditch. But I put all my time into hunting that deer, hung stands, threw cameras up all along. He was pretty much in a 30-acre section of timber of our property. Yeah, he was on the neighbors a good bit, but of the property that we had, he was in like a 30-acre. I probably threw 5 cameras up along there, 2 stands, and I hunted him hard in early October, and he daylighted on October 18th was the last time I got a picture of him, but I hunted him on the 16th and 17th. And I was planning on going back in on the 18th, the night that he daylighted. I ended up having to work that night, and he was out at 4:30, broad daylight, with 2 hours of daylight left remaining, 25 yards from my tree stand. And that was the last time I had pictures of him the rest of the fall. And I thought something happened to him. That was the only deer that I really wanted to kill last year. I went the rest of the season not seeing a single buck big enough for me that I wanted to got excited about, and kind of put me out of the season a little bit. I didn't end up killing a buck last fall. I had a great spring with shed hunting. I found my 21 sheds, I think, this spring.
That's unreal. That is unreal for our area.
Yeah, and all those were all on my property or my next door neighbor's property. They're kind enough to let me walk their woods, and I was able to find 5 sheds on my neighbor's property. And I did find a public land shed. I know some people probably don't like private land, people hunting public land or doing stuff like that, but I do have a lot of public close to my property, and I do like to walk it in the spring. Just, it's good exercise. And I walked in, I ended up finding my first public land shed. That was a big thing for me too. I mean, It was just a little 4-point side, but when I found that, I was just as happy if I would have found like a 60-inch side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Anybody that shed hunts knows that feeling. This spring, we actually had a really cold beginning to the winter, January, February, and a lot of bucks did shed in that
Yeah,
early
the end
time.
of December there around Christmas was brutal.
Oh yeah, I was working outside there. Anybody that has a farm or knows the farm life a little bit, everything seems to break when the weather's really crappy. And I was working outside a lot in that zero, negative couple degree temperature, and we had snow too. It was brutal, and a lot of deer dropped their antlers in that time frame. So I picked up most of my sheds in the end of January, beginning of February. Um, you didn't pick up any sheds this
I
spring,
didn't.
did you?
Usually with my job, I can find a couple. Yeah, actually, the only shed I picked up last year was like, I think it was like July or something crazy like that. It was just down a swamp bottom, and I always look out for sheds, even now. All times of year I look out for sheds.
I'm always looking.
I happened to see three prongs come up, picked it up. It was like a 3-year-old little four-side shed, tiny, tiny.
Yep.
But in all honesty, I didn't go out and do a lot of just straight on shed hunting. I just kind of took the fall off or took the spring off. You can only hunt and do so much in
Yeah,
a year.
it's true. You got to balance it.
You
a
gotta
little bit.
balance it. The hunting and life balance is tough sometimes.
It is. We just a recap of the spring. Then after that, we did go to Nebraska. We're able to kill 2 birds out there. Had a really good time.
Great time.
Great time. And then we came back and had the best season that I've ever had, may ever have. I called in 6 birds back home here for myself and other people. Super cool. I got a couple of those on film. If you're listening to this, you want to go over to our YouTube channel at the Farmland Hunter. Check out our turkey hunting compilation from this spring. It's not. I just took what video I had of the kill shots and stuff and threw it together. It's not bad. You can check out the other podcasts and stuff on there as well. But it's just a fun spring. We just talked about the summer and going into fall, but back to plans for this fall. I put 6 food plots in this year, which is a lot. I've only ever done 2 at a time a year. That's all the time I ever had to do. I didn't allot enough time to myself to go out there. You get done at night, and you just think, I'm just gonna go inside, sit down. I stayed strict about it. I went out, did a lot of work, was able to get 6 food plots in. Should be a game changer. We're gonna be chopping corn here pretty soon. Get all the corn off the farm. I think it's gonna be a good year.
What'd you put in the food plots? Like, what'd you plant?
So I tried to look for something that had a mix of early fall and late winter mixes. So like your chicory, brassicas, like your turnips, radishes, that kind of thing. And so like I want stuff that I can hunt early October and after frost, after the snow hits late season. So I'm trying to look for that perfect blend. And I did a lot of Whitetail Institute stuff and some other small brand stuff you can find at Tractor Supply. And that's basically what I put out. I think it'll be good. It's all pretty greened up. If anybody living in our area of Pennsylvania, Somerset County, we had a heck of a drought this year.
Oh, yeah.
Our farm went for 7 weeks without rain.
Holy cow.
There were some people in our county that were lucky enough to get a little bit and not be spaced out that much. But we went 7 weeks without a single drop of rain, which was the biggest drought we've ever had since our farm's been started.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough on everything.
Yeah, it was crazy. You guys that walk around in the woods, the ferns in the woods, they're about knee high, green as can be all summer long. And I went into an area to scout, threw a camera up, and just in like the first 3 weeks of no rain, the forest floor, looking through, it's green, you can't really see very well. Everything died. It was clear brown in the woods. It looked like late season. You could see 200-300 yards down through the woods because all the underbrush, the leaves were gone. All the everything on the ground was dead, shriveled up, fell over. It was crazy,
Yeah.
Now it's starting to come back a little bit since we got a little bit of rain, but there for a while it was kind of weird. It was like decimated.
And then we had the fall cankerworm too.
Yes.
That hit our area awfully, and we haven't even seen, I don't think, the full effects of the wildlife and everything yet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be, especially where I live, I live right below the mountain, that the mountain range that was probably hit the worst in our area. I mean, you could see from 10 miles north to 10 miles south how bad it was. And last year we had a little bit of an issue with it, but we didn't even know what it was. But this year it came out so bad. It looked like it was spring, or it was like fall.
Yeah.
And at the end of May, and we have leaves and all this stuff, and they just decimated the whole mountain range. And acorns on top are rough, bare minimum, especially with the rain.
Yep.
My prediction from what I've seen is, if you're in our area, I haven't seen a lot of deer up top on the mountains as much as we used to. Right now, it seems like they're down in bottoms with the water and the food. Where
natural
normally
browse is gone. That's basically what it amounts to. The natural browse in the woods.
Natural browse is gone. Yeah,
is gone.
I mean, I remember there was like, I forget exactly what 2 weeks, but there was like 2 weeks, and at the end of turkey season, I think it was the end, you'd go out, and even in work. I mean, for those that don't know, I work in the woods a lot. I'm out and about. You'd go hunting, and you'd have worms, and you'd have just silk all over you.
Yep.
And the one day we went out, we probably had 200 worms on us, just everywhere, covered. And we just could not get away from them. You thought there were spider webs or whatnot. And this was before it became a real issue. I mean, like the worms were low or dropping down before everyone really realized, like, yeah, this is an issue. And like, we were still like, what the heck is going on? Like, I've never walked through the woods this much and had this much issue with worms. I mean, our equipment was covered. I mean, covered. It took me forever to clean it up. So we have that this year. That's going to be interesting to see how it affects our movement compared to years in the past, and what we're going to do with the drought, cankerworm, and in the next couple of years, it's going to be interesting to see, like, that mountain I'm talking about, what's going to happen to it. This is its second year getting hit. I've heard from foresters and whatnot that it gets hit a third year. There's a good chance you're going to lose a majority of that woods.
That could be something hard right off the bat. I mean, stuff like this has been going on since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
But
we just had the ash borer, emerald ash borer. Yep. Now this, taking out the rest. I mean, it's
weird. Nature is harsh.
Yeah.
But it'll play out eventually.
And you know what? The deer these deer, they'll pull through.
They thrive.
They do. In all conditions.
I mean, look up there in Buffalo, New York. They get 5-6 foot of snow at a time. Those deer make it through.
Yeah.
They have nowhere to go. They might sit still and munch on the snow for something to snack on, but somehow they make it through.
Yeah, somehow.
Oh man, it's kind of weird being back in this old setup.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like we said, there was a lot of people, and that missed it, and I think we did too. We definitely did.
Yeah, we did.
We got some new things coming up here in the future that I think we should be excited about. I partnered with a predator hunting thermal optics brand dealer out of Pittsburgh, PA. It's called Predator Exclusives. And the guy who runs his name, Ian Chappell, and just a great stand-up guy. And for all you predator hunters out there that don't know, it's tough to navigate this thermal market space, and just trying to figure out what's good, what's not, and just having somebody to talk to, report your problems to. I mean, these scopes they're electronics. I mean, you have issues with your phone all the time. Like, these scopes are no different. I don't care what brand you get. It's good to have somebody to stand behind it, be on your side, and being local. If, hey, you're not sure about a scope, he has it in stock, go up, check it out. Look at it for a little bit. Check it out, you know. If you need that dealer support afterwards, it's much easier for him to stand by your side and fix issues. But I've really enjoyed working with Ian lately. We're going to get some products here in the future. We already got one. We're kind of in the process of doing a review on it, trying to figure out what we like, what we don't, to give you guys an honest review. And we're going to get products here in the future, and I think it's going to be a good relationship. It's going to be more content coming down the line, especially with just my hunts in particular. I think we're going to have a good time with. I think it's going to be light. It's not going to be your serious, uptight, so, you know, we're going out, we're killing this or that, and it's over. And I think even with deer and turkey hunting, like, that's kind of our goal.
Yeah.
And especially with this podcast, just lighthearted, having fun.
Yep.
That's why we're doing it.
Yep.
Same why you guys like going out and hunting, and this isn't our job. This isn't your job. This is fun. Like, this is our hobbies.
Yeah, it's a hobby. You don't want to put too much pressure on it.
No.
I do. I do go to an extreme.
I think we all
sometimes.
do.
I think sometimes, you know, your hobbies can be a little bit excessive sometimes, and sometimes I probably take it too far. But there's days when I'm sitting in a tree stand and I sit there for 2-3 hours and I haven't seen a deer, but I'm just glad to be out there. I think that's how it is. Talking about what you were just talking about, predator exclusives and stuff like that. I'm not working with a brand or anything like that, but I did find a new brand. It's called Goat Gear. I bought some camo off of them. Stuff looks really good. I've been following along with the guy, his personal account on Instagram for a really long time, and when I saw that he was building a brand, he was putting polls on Instagram,
And it looks like good stuff too.
Yeah,
Like, it is very nice.
Yeah, so like when he was doing polls and stuff like that, you know, I'm putting my feedback into it, you know, telling him, you know, like just like clicking a button to tell him like yes or no on do you like a pug here, stuff like that, and to see it coming together after so long and the finished product out there, I bought it, I tried it on, I like it, and we were getting ready to go into hunt season here to finally test it out, and I like it, and I got some other stuff that I'd like to order off of there. But if you're looking for a camo brand that's high quality, without the high price, which I think that's his slogan, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think you have Huntworth kind of in that same you know, space or niche in the market, and it seems like it's good stuff.
I mean, you got like Sitka and First Light, and what's that other one? Is it
Badlands?
What's
Badlands and
Kui, or how you say
Kuiu.
that? Kuiu.
Yeah.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Your premium brands, like, you know what you're talking about.
Like this seems like the same quality I'd picture, but half the price.
This is for the guys that, you know,
hunting doesn't pay for their house.
and honestly, not saying everyone, but I know a couple people that the only way they can afford some of those brands is because they're a first responder or because they work in law enforcement or something similar.
Yep, got the discount a little bit.
Yeah.
A regular everyday Joe.
Now,
like
that stuff is great. Don't get me wrong. That stuff is damn good.
Yeah, we're not taking
Damn
away
good.
from that. I if I had the money, would I probably buy it?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
But, you know, I'm living on the farmer's income.
The working man's income.
Yep. Middle class. Actually, in today's world, I don't think I am middle class anymore. I think I'm about ready to get a cardboard box out there. You're going to see me in town here pretty soon with a cardboard sign and a box. A little mug jingling
Please
around.
pay off my bar tab.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's going to be. Heck, I'm already doing that. No, I'm just kidding.
We do take free drinks.
Yeah.
We're not opposed.
No, yeah. I mean, you can find out where we live probably from Google. Just drop a 30 rack off. We'll celebrate with it after we kill some deer.
Yeah.
I am moving out. That's new.
Yeah, that is cool.
I am moving out. I did buy. I just got my hunting license. Talking about that, I did get 3 doe tags. I don't plan on using any of them. Maybe
That's a
one.
hot topic.
Yeah, it's a hot topic. I did buy 3 just because that's what it allowed me to. I plan on maybe using one if I kill a buck in bow season and I want to still go out and flintlock hunt with my family and stuff. We're really big into flintlock hunting. It'd be nice to have a doe tag because I can still be out there in the woods.
While we're on the topic, how many does have you killed?
In my life, 2.
2.
I've been hunting for, this would be my 12th season. So 12 seasons, 2 doe.
What I find, we're not going to get into this in this podcast, but for those of you that have used the PA Hunt and Fish app,
Yep.
you cannot buy a hunting license without getting a doe license. And or WMU.
And we still have, I think when I bought mine, we still had 30-some thousand.
And when was that?
Left. 3 weeks ago. When did we go? I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
30-some thousand tags left. I think our unit sold 86,000. You were allowed to get this year. Maybe it was even more than that. It might have been 92. I can't remember the exact number, which is crazy. I have a hard time. Heck, me and Bobo, Brady Boborkchuk, who T-Pat hunts with, me and him have been going spotting recently. Holy smokes, we've traveled over probably a 40-mile loop every night that we've gone out. And I bet you can count probably maybe 35 deer that we've seen.
Yeah.
Which is nothing. I'm talking bean fields, big hay fields, long corn fields. It's not like it used to be, at least not in our part of PA.
No.
I don't know how to fix it. I really don't. I guess if I had all the answers, I'd be rich.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah, probably another topic for another podcast.
We need somebody that has more information on that we can bring on here. Really grill him, not be mean to him or something, nothing like that. But I really want to pick somebody's brain about it.
And don't get us wrong,
we're all about hunting and doing what you love and stuff. But at the end of the day, you just got to look out for. Okay, you kill your 5 or 6. Yeah, you were able to do it. Well, there's plenty of deer. I was able to kill 5 or 6. Okay, well, right there, they're gone for next year. And then the next year, you're like, man, I only saw 1 deer today.
Yeah. If you're genuinely, full-heartedly using the meat to fully, maybe not even fully, just if you're using that to supply your family and that's what you guys rely on for meat, nothing against you at all.
Nope.
100% understand it. That's why that resource is out there. That's why God put them on the earth. That's what they're for. But for those,
it's
a difficult package to unpack, and we've seen the effects of it. And what's really crazy is we hear stories from our grandparents and our parents how many deer were around years ago.
You could go spotting in the little loop I do around my house at night when I have 10, 15 minutes to go mess around before I go to bed. They'd say they see 100 deer, 120 deer on that loop.
Yeah.
If I see 10 deer on that loop, I'm like, oh, I saw a decent amount of deer tonight. So maybe we are so passionate about this topic because we see it. Maybe not everybody's seeing it yet. So maybe that's why me and you are so.
Maybe. At my family farm, I see every year we see less and less deer. And it's hard to put the finger on what is the cause of it.
I know
whether it's overhunting,
CWD,
pressure from predators. We don't know. And I don't think anybody knows. I don't think the Pennsylvania Game Commission knows. Which, moving forward, I think we had Officer Harvey, Game Commissioner Harvey on the podcast, and I think it would be good to do another recap with what's going on.
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
More
what has transpired
Yep.
since then.
Yeah.
To really see and give you guys the the outlook and what's coming from that angle. But yeah, it's tough. And I know everyone from around this area that's probably listening to this podcast is thinking the same thing or seeing similar. You know, even if you do want to fill 3 doe tags a year, I'd say it's probably getting harder and harder every year to fill those 3 doe tags. I mean, it's not a difficult challenge, but there probably is. It's not as easy.
Yeah. Like, could I kill a 16-inch wide 8-point every year? Yeah.
I couldn't. I don't think I can. Last year, I only saw 1 7-point that was to its ears the whole archery season, and I hunted my off, and that's the only thing I saw. So I'm not saying I could, but
T-Pat also just did say that he was taking it easy and focusing more on predator hunting.
yes.
No,
but
nonetheless, like I was not meant to sound like greedy. But I could if I wanted to, could I kill a 16-inch wide 8-point every year? Yeah, I could.
Oh yeah, you've had. I mean, and that's not being greedy because it has happened.
Yeah, I just
historically
I could.
Yeah.
Last year I had multiple opportunities, but I haven't done it because I like seeing them get just a tad older. Could I have killed multiple doe when I've had a doe tag in my hand? Yes, I could have killed as countless doe tags. The last doe I shot was with a flintlock, and that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I was in high school yet. Actually, it was probably longer ago than that. And I just haven't done it. I just like seeing more deer around.
Right. Now, to kind of piggyback off what you're saying, you are hunting private land.
Yes, I am hunting. Yeah, I guess it does change for the public land hunter.
Yeah.
It does. I do understand where those guys would come from. I would never argue with any of them. Yeah. Now, talking about public land, I've walked some public land, been around some public land, and there are some very, very good bucks on public land.
Listen, there's some public land around us. If you get in the right hole, you're going to be very pleased.
There's more big deer on them than I have on my own property.
Yeah.
On private land. And some people probably would disagree with me or argue that, but I have the video evidence to prove it. And there's some studs. And I've had people reach out to me about hunting and stuff, like my property. You have those people.
Yeah.
I'm not as big on, turkey hunting, like me and you were buddies. Yeah, I'll take you turkey hunting. I'll do this for you, whatever. Deer hunting, that's myself.
It's tough.
But I do send them I do try to point them in the right direction for places that I've seen deer and help them out. And I've had my one buddy from West Virginia. He came up turkey hunting. He came up deer hunting last fall. He ended up having a lot of really nice bucks on camera.
Studs. Not nice bucks. Studs for our area.
On public ground, like bigger than anything I had on camera. And he came up this spring, turkey hunting, killed a really nice bird. Actually, it was a stud, 11 and a quarter inch beard.
Yeah.
And so don't think that the public land is just like don't blow it off just because it's public land.
I had bigger deer, talking about last fall, I had less success last year because I was chasing deer and had way bigger deer on public land than I did on my private. And I got sucked into it, and you know what? No, I didn't come out with anything. However, I was chasing studs. I mean, they were studs
for Pennsylvania and public land. That's the thing about public land is those deer are smart. Every single one of those bucks that I filmed on public land this year was 5+. Those big ones, they were 5+ year old deer. They got that big pot belly, big rack. There's a 6-point on the public land that I won. The one public land that I filmed. I bet you his circumference measurements on his main beams at his Ys, I wouldn't put it past if it was 5 inches plus. This deer's huge. His Ys, his points are probably 13 inches long. He's probably 20 21 inches outside. Stud. That's public land.
Yeah.
I don't hunt it because I got my own property to hunt. I'll put my time in on my own property. But, I mean, if I had time, I'd be on that public land every day, scouting it out, trying to find a spot.
Which the recent farmland hunter videos on Instagram, some of those big bucks, those are public land deer.
Yes, they are.
Those aren't on the farm.
Yeah.
Whatever you think, like, oh, yeah, the farmland hunter, that Macaulay, he has all these big bucks on his property. The big deer you've been seeing are public land deer.
Yeah.
And guess what happens in October? Those deer are fully public land bucks.
Yep. When that corn leaves from our property, 50-60% of those deer move into the public land.
Yep.
And I don't get to know what deer get killed over there. I wish I could know. I would love to know.
There's no way of knowing.
There's no way to know, but I have to think that some of them get killed over there. And
yeah.
it's crazy that, I mean, there's some public land chunks that I've walked. I've walked a few tracks. It's crazy, the terrain, the cover, just like the absolute, like you think you'd be in the mountains out west, how secluded you get back in there. You walk back into public land a mile or two and get off the beaten trail, you'd think you were out in the middle of nowhere. And you're only a mile or so from the road. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think everybody, I think if there's one thing you should take away from this is don't overlook the public land just because you don't have property to hunt. I know I'm saying this as somebody that hunts private land, but there is some really good public land. Trust, and since I know I'm saying this, but I've filmed them and been in there and seen it. There is some really, really good bucks on public land.
And I feel like I can say it because
You hunt it.
I don't own private, but I have access to private. And last year, and years in the past, I have chose to hunt the public over the private. And obviously, it comes down to specific instances and stuff like that, but there's good deer on there. The tough part is you have to be a good hunter and figure out what these deer are doing, what's making them, and honestly, it's the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pressure that you and other hunters are applying that make it tough on public land. It's not the deer. It's not that there's nothing there. It is the pressure that you and other hunters are applying.
Mm-hmm.
If there wasn't hunters on public land per se, the deer would be easy to kill just like on private. But it's the hunting pressure and how you apply it.
Mm-hmm.
And you may see other guys going in, and I am hell for that. I'm like, oh, this guy's going in. He's going up there. He's cutting me off.
I'm done.
He's walking up there. And then I really think back. I'm like, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the exact same thing. We're both just trying to kill the deer. We're just both trying to fill our tags, and it's tough. But it's something you got to consider. Sometimes you got to find where that pressure's not at, and sometimes them deer are there.
Talking about the only time I've hunted public land was out west. And
we found out quick.
And, that's where I really got some firsthand to that. We're out in Nebraska, rural, northern Nebraska. And, we go into a spot on opening morning. We wake up, we roll into this spot at 2 o'clock in the morning, fold the seats down, fall asleep for 2 hours. We get up.
Wow.
We're so tired.
Fall asleep. You fell asleep. I had to shit so damn bad I didn't even sleep. Meanwhile, we drove. What time we leave?
We left at 4:30 on Friday morning.
On Friday.
And we got there at 2 o'clock Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Time change.
Time change. Yeah, 2 hour time change in there.
So we were on the road for 24 hours.
I've not used the. I mean, we urinate, but otherwise, no. No.
And so I slept T-Pat didn't. I did take the back
I
seat.
had the shivers in front seat. Could barely sleep because I had shit so damn bad. And my God, I was not going outside and going on a tree. First of all, I do not shit outside.
Hey, wait. You want to know what the best part about this is? We
What,
didn't know it at the
Mountain
time.
Lions?
No.
Because we're in Mountain Lion Central. They're actually taking a season out on them this year and trying to eliminate how many, because there's so many. And for those of you who don't know, there's not mountain lions all over Nebraska. They are in probably a 60-mile square area or a certain region.
Yep, they're all
there. They're all right there.
But the funniest part about this, we come walking out after the morning hunt. We see a bathroom, Scotty's potty, whatever, 40 yards behind my truck that T-Pat did not know about at 2 o'clock in the morning. But that was pretty funny. But back to what I was saying, we get out in the morning. It's just now starting. The birds are just starting to chirp out there. T-Pat's looking rough. I'm looking rough.
Oh, yeah.
There's a vehicle parked right beside us. We're thinking...
Two of them.
Yeah, there's two vehicles parked beside us.
Two from Kansas.
Yep, and we're thinking, oh, man, these people are going to be hunting, too. We got to get up there before them. They ended up not being hunters. They were hikers.
No, we come down with... I killed a Jake. Macaulay could have killed a longboard. But, situations happen. Whatever. We come down out. And this dude sitting in the back of what was a Ford Ranger.
Clapped out.
Clapped out Ford Ranger with his sides up. And he's sitting back there in the back with his dog.
Shirt off.
And then we walk by the next car. What was it, a Jeep Renegade or something?
Yep, and T-Pat's not paying attention. He's paying attention to the dog and with the dude. And there's a lady, probably 25, 26 years old, in the back of her car. Just as naked, and they start talking to us, and we're like, "What kind of hippie mountain stuff out here?"
Especially because we picked that spot. It was 2:30 in the morning, or no. What time we were going out through there?
It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. We were a half an hour from town.
Yeah,
and we're like looking at all the public land spots. And me and him are talking. Me and T-Pat are talking. I'm like, "Okay, we're here. Where do we want to go?" We're talking. I was like, I found this spot on Hunt Stand. I was like, this looks like a really good spot.
Yeah.
There's some ridge tops, some open country. I was like, let's hit it.
Well, we found that ridge, and we were like, this ridge looks pretty good. We both thought, there's probably some birds on this ridge. The trouble is trying to find some on them. So we were planning on working up and down the ridge. Well, we go down back in this back ass road.
Yep.
We don't even know if we're supposed to be there, but says
there's
we can.
There's mule deer on the side of the road as we're driving back. We're like, there's wildlife.
Yeah. So we get back in there, and it's back ass, back there.
Yeah. Scary.
We hop out.
Scary.
These two other cars. Well, we're back here. Birds don't gobble till 5:30, 5:45, almost 6 o'clock.
Yeah, when it's starting to break daylight a little bit.
So we're like, you know what? We'll hop out 5 o'clock. We'll get ourselves situated and whatnot.
We'll be up in there by 5:45.
We hop out of the truck. There's 6, 7 birds gobbling.
Yeah, T-Pat didn't even hear him at first. These birds gobble as we're opening truck doors and moving stuff around.
I couldn't hear because I was trying to find the nearest tree to hunker up against.
Yeah.
And that's all I could think about, in all honesty.
And I'm like, dude, there's birds lit up everywhere on this mountain. And he's like, no. I was like, dude, I'm telling you, I swear to God. We keep going back to work. They gobble again, this time louder. And he's like, dude, I heard
he freaks out. I mean, freaks out. He's grabbing all this stuff, ripping it out of the truck. We gotta go. I'm like, dude, I know we have to move, but we gotta chill out. Because, Macaulay's just geeking out. And I'm like, okay, you have your ammo. We have our gloves. We have all our stuff. Because who knows how long we're going out. And he's just, boom, So we end up getting out. We end up
getting up on top of the mountain.
We saw 2.
Yeah. Yeah, we did absolutely 2. But the reason we were talking about this, the public land, is these dudes, the entire time we're going up over this hill, are on the other edge of this ridge line from us, sneaking up on them too, calling to them like crazy. Basically, they had to have been right on top of them.
Yeah, they did.
And they actually ended up pushing them off towards the north. And me and T-Pat, what, man, we probably ran 200-300 yards to get around him.
Ran. I mean,
Bolted.
yeah.
There was a few times T-Pat, T-Pat's not as agile as he used to be. And he was
Macaulay runs. I am the average pace of a normal hunter, but we ran.
I am of Native American descent. I am
That
quick.
was his natural territory up there.
I am very quick in the woods, and we get out around them. These birds are gobbling out in front of us. We're all like super excited watching out in front of us. What would you know it? I turned to my left. There's a longbeard standing right there. Came in silent. Till I got my red dot on, safety off. He got behind the bush. I missed my opportunity to kill a bird out there.
I was on the phone when I heard mine.
Yeah.
Saw mine. Shout out to Hunter Youngkin.
Yeah, he's on the phone. That goes off. I start calling. I'm like, I'm going to bring this bird back in. What would you know it? 3 jakes come in. T-Pat goes, do you care if I shoot one? I said, no,
We
go
have
ahead.
2 tags.
Yeah, we have 2 tags. So, I should have shot a jake in hindsight.
70 yards down the hill. Smoked him.
Yeah, well, it was pretty cool. He goes, can I shoot one? And the second I got, yeah, off my lips, whoom, dropped one.
Well, we had a long-beard come in before that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, so Macaulay we had a situation. It got by. I got up on my hands and knees, and I'm leaning around trees like I'm in Call of Duty trying to find this freaking bird. This longbeard. Like, I was going to snipe it. Because, long shot, but I tested my gun out to that distance because I figured if I was going to have a shot, it's going to be a little longer than it is PA. So I bought ammo to test it out, and I did test it out at that distance. So I wasn't afraid
To
to take that shot. Yeah.
I wasn't afraid to take the shot either. I was just twiddling around. I got, caught with my pants down pretty much.
Yep. That's why you need a scope that if the battery doesn't need to turn on.
Yeah. Looking back, I would have killed a huge Nebraska longbeard.
That thing had a rope on it.
Yeah, it did. For a Merriam's, I've heard this from a lot of people, even guys that live out there. The Merriam's, they don't have as big of a beard. It's just a known fact.
But, dude, we did see birds, though, with absolute ropes on them.
We did.
I mean, yeah.
And, oh my God, how pretty are their feathers. Oh, I want one so bad. That's why we're going out again next year.
Yeah, that's why we're going out.
Yeah. And there's 4 bars right beside our Airbnb. We're not alcoholics. We're not.
We had a good time.
It was a good time.
We had a great time.
If you ask our other 2 buddies, if they were sitting here right now, they would have had a good time. They would say the exact same thing. There was 4 of us went out. We had a great trip. Probably it wasn't much of a vacation because of the hunting and the feeling like crap the whole time.
The hunting was brutal, but I think that we live in such a great turkey area. I personally think
that our little piece of heaven out here is probably the best turkey hunting in the United States.
Yeah, and definitely in PA. I think it's one of the best in PA.
I killed 7 birds off of one property this spring. Not myself. That was me and some others.
Yeah.
How many places can you say you killed 7 birds off of one property? And I'm talking a 250-acre chunk. I'm not talking 3,000 acres.
And the neighbors killed birds. The other neighbors killed birds. Like,
how often do you have that?
Like, our area in PA is some of the best turkey hunting.
And I think that spoils us when we go to an area where it's not as good turkey hunting.
100%.
Like it is out there.
Yes, definitely.
We saw lots of birds traveling around. A lot of them were on. The big part was they were still in their big flocks.
Yep. We were early to them.
Yeah, we were early to them, but also at the same time, like, that was about the only time we really could get out there before our season started. Like, the spring field work for me starts pretty much right then. So the earlier, the better for me. And I've listened to everybody else. A lot of guys have success that time of year because there's so many birds. You just got to find when they're on public.
Yeah.
Like we said, those birds we were out on opening morning, T-Pat killed that one. Those 3 guys that were hunting that public with us, we were the only 5 guys hunting it. But they hunted it hard. They trampled all over it.
They hunted hard.
And after the first...
ended up pushing them on to the private.
They did. They weren't very. I'm not trying to sound mean or anything. They weren't very stealthy, or like trying to be like quiet, or trying to keep the birds on the public.
Yeah.
They kind of just ran in there, walked everywhere, blew them out, and that was the end of it.
At that time of the year, the longbeards and even any of the gobblers aren't. They're not out looking like
No.
they are when we hunt here. They have their hens.
Mm-hmm.
They have 30 hens with them,
Lost their hands.
and they get into the mounds and the timber, and they're just all hanging out. They have everything they ever want there. Not all the hens are bred. So when you go in and you apply pressure directly to them, and I do think we definitely applied
Taking
pressure
that
to
shot, applied pressure.
yes,
But
100%.
even after
100%.
even after that shot, I mean,
Right,
we were talking
right.
to birds the rest of the morning on that public,
Right.
and we were close to killing another bird
Yes.
that morning.
I think those old birds of the flock, they just knew, hey, let's go to the private. And
we ended up seeing them down there on the
Yes.
private. There's 70 some. I have film of it. There's
Yeah.
like 75 birds.
Regardless of the hunting, we had a great time. We met great people out
We
there.
did. We met some really good people out there. Probably one of the best chefs I've ever had the honor of cook.
Old Sonny.
The old Sonny, that dude should be on. What's that dude? Gordon Ramsay. He should be on that dude's show.
Super nice, super down to earth guy.
And he could
Great
cook
cook.
like a mother.
Great cook.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He
We
was
went to
awesome.
we went to one place every night and ate. We'd eat, have a couple drinks, and then we'd move on for the night.
And that food was always good.
It was always good. And he took care of us.
He did.
I don't know. I think we should shout him out. I think if you're going to northwestern Nebraska, you got to check out
The Ridge.
the Ridge with
Is it?
Sonny and Ron.
Yeah.
Ron. Great food, great place to, stop, hang out, chill out,
Have
have a break
amazing
from the hunting.
Food. Yep.
Yeah, and Sonny will definitely treat you well.
I mean, heck, we'd be eating our dinner and he'd come out, ask us what we thought of it.
Yep.
Brady's allergic to something that was in his one.
Yeah.
He took that right back, no questions asked, re-whipped it up.
Yeah, it was the shrimp. There was
It was
shrimp
shrimp.
in the pasta or something, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Took it back, whipped him up something crazy, and Brady said it was phenomenal.
I
It
mean-
was so good.
I'm not big on spaghetti sauce. I'm a plain noodles guy.
What was that? The Western, or is like a ranch?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I've never had spaghetti sauce like that in my life. I would have just ate the whole spaghetti sauce by itself.
Yeah.
Oh my! Right now, my mouth's watering right now. You can't see me. If we had video of this podcast, I have drool running down my face. That's
Which,
just
hey,
how it
maybe in
is.
the future,
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. But we will be making another trip out there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So, all right. So, where do we go from here?
I don't know. I kind of thinking back to Nebraska, having a good time. Just deer hunting in general. Oh, let's talk about that. The September switch.
Yeah.
The old switch of September. I mean, they're in the second week of August. I mean, everything was, hunky dory.
It'll rather make you or break you.
Yeah.
The guys that had, and I'm bad for that. The guys that had, I'm right there. The guys that have had deer all summer and they're watching them grow and they're like, yes. I'm gonna be set.
Yeah.
September comes around, they rub their velvet off, and
Testosterone levels hit the roof, and
it's
they are
like, okay,
gone.
where'd they go? Where'd all my deer go? I've been watching, and then I know guys that have nothing all summer.
And then all fall long, they are just in it.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. I
Yep.
mean, I'm the same way. Like, yeah, I look at these bucks all summer long. And now I'm smart enough to know, since the past 3-4 years I've been really keeping track, I know most of them are going to leave. But I didn't talk about this yet. I did have, in late August, I had 2 bucks show up for just one night each. I had a big split G 2 buck and a really, really big heavy 8-point show up on my one farm. And I think they were testing out they were coming in and checking out their fall territory. That's just me being hopeful. I don't know if that's true, but it's around the same time that other ones were leaving. These bucks showed up for a day, and I'm really hopeful that they're going to show back up here in a couple weeks.
And we've seen other deer do this in the past.
I mean, deer do that.
Similar time.
They check out their fall ranges. They stop in. I mean, I have pictures of bucks. This summer, all June, July, and beginning of August, a mile away as the crow flies. And I checked the camera on my there's a 30-acre patch of timber on our one farm. I go down there and check the camera. I have both of them on camera. That's a mile away. They came in, checked it out for 2 nights, back up to the other farm that's a mile away. And I hung, you know what I did right after I got that picture? I went down into right off the bedding area, threw up a tree stand and a camera on a good licking branch area, and that they always open a scrape up on, because I know that when fall comes, the rut, I think they're going to move back down into there. You just got to, I might go down in there this year and hunt, and I might not even see a single buck down in there. But, it's the preparation and the forward thinking that ultimately puts you in a better spot to have a chance of killing a deer. I think that's the big thing is, as far as deer hunters go, it's luck. It is luck to have a buck of that size or any size that you'd like to shoot walk within 30 yards of you. But you can do things that up your chances, and I think that's what it's about. I think that's what I'm always focused on, is giving myself those chances. I think that's why I nerd out on it so much, is because I'm always worried about that, because I want to have those chances. I want to be able to go sit and see, a couple bucks every sit and a bunch of doe. That's what I want to see, and that's why I'm so worried about that. And maybe you might be somebody that, you don't run cameras in the summer. You don't do anything like that. You might just go throw up a tree stand. You might just have as much luck as I do. And you didn't have to do any of it. You didn't worry about it all summer long. Or you could be the guy that doesn't do anything. You go out there and you don't see anything. It just depends. I could do all this work and not see anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's a I guess it's not nerve-wracking.
Can be.
Yeah, I guess. It's just a weird little thing hunting is. Just think about it. Just think about the whole concept.
Yeah. I mean, you hear stories all the time. Some new hunter comes out, shoots a hammer. And more than likely, every property owner around that one person had that deer on camera and probably hunted them through archery season. But just because you don't harvest it doesn't mean you should be upset or resentful in any way of who harvested it.
Nope. You should be happy that you got to hunt that deer.
Yeah. I am more happy when I see this. Just this year we had a buck called Lennon.
Yep.
After John Lennon.
Yep.
I missed the deer twice. Pushed him down to a hunter who was older, and it ended up being his last hunting season. He didn't pass away, but he just after last year he called it quits. Heard him shot, let it go a little bit, went down, ended up helping him gut it out, drag it out, and that deer was probably, well, I know it was more memorable helping him with his final buck and being there for him and assisting him than it would have been if I would have killed it and dropped it where it laid.
Yep.
100%. And it was more fulfilling. Way more fulfilling. And that's what hunting's about. That's why we have this podcast. It's why that's why we're friends with who we are, is because we share a fellowship with other hunters. And
same ideas.
Same ideas. And that's what it's about. To a point, there's a lot of competition with, especially, I'm not saying especially, with all hunting. There's competition. Just with who's killing more, who's killing what, and just with space, ground.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we got to realize that we're all hunters. And we got to share that fellowship, because at the end of the day, we all have that same goal and that same idea and that same passion.
It drives us.
And and we got to just realize that, hey, we're chasing God's creation. And we're doing this because God put these animals here, and we're thank God that we're lucky enough to chase them year in and year out, and just
thank God he gave him antlers and good meat.
Yeah, damn right. Damn right.
I feel like that's a good spot to end it.
I think so too.
You sounded, I think you should start preaching.
I think I sounded poetic, huh?
Something.
Oh gosh.
What's that? What did we always have to listen to or study in school? Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Edgar Allan Patrick right there.
Yep, I think it's time for us to end this.
Yep. Well, thank you guys for tuning in here. We're going to try and keep this on a regular, get more videos out. Archery season does start here in about, 4 weeks.
Yep.
I'm going to try and do every weekly videos there. I'm pretty strict about it. I got my editing software up on a new computer. So I got the stuff to do it now. I think we're ready to go. We're signing off.
Yep. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep, thanks for tuning in.
Keep updated with the Farmland Hunter. We're going to have more content, and we're back.
Yeah.
We are definitively back.
Yeah, we are. And please like and follow. That it is huge for me. I know it's just 1 second out of your day to double click a like button, but that it's huge for me. It's kind of rewarding. So
yeah. Help give back.
Yeah, give back. Thank you guys.
All right. Hey, take care, everyone.